As jurors determine Karen Read's fate, eyes throughout the country are focused on Massachusetts. The murder trial, which lasted for weeks, is now nearing its conclusion. A decision might be made as soon as Wednesday. Not long after the jury's Wednesday morning deliberations began, one of the members posed a question to Judge Beverly Connolly. However, the question was not directly related to the trial. Instead, the jury requested that they end their discussions at 4 p.m., because one member had a long-standing scheduling conflict. The request was granted by the judge without any issues. When the jury was not present when the court reassembled at around 10 in the morning, defense lawyer Alan Jackson persuaded Connolly that the verdict slip was improper. He objected to the fact that the slip did not have a checkbox for not guilty. Connolly clarified that a not guilty finding would result from jurors failing to check the guilty block. "We strongly object to that, and that is not how things should be," Jackson stated. "They have to realize that there is a not guilty choice." Connolly, however, disagreed, stating that she believed the verdict slip to be appropriate. She seemed to observe a reaction from Read that she didn't like as she was describing that to Jackson. "I apologize. It's humorous, Ms. Read," stated Connolly. "All right, we're done." Read's face was hidden behind Jackson on the courtroom feed, but her head was shown trembling in answer to Connolly's query. You can be sure that the jury is still thinking about the impactful remarks made by the prosecution and defense during Tuesday's closing statements as they continue to deliberate. During closing arguments, defense counsel Alan Jackson declared, "Ladies and gentlemen, there was a cover-up in this case, plain and simple. A conspiracy does not exist. No one is hiding anything." Prosecutor Adam Lally stated, "There is no proof of anything beyond rumors, rampages, rumors, and speculations." Read is charged with killing her lover, John O'Keefe, a Boston police officer, following a night of drinking at two different bars in Canton, Massachusetts, with friends and acquaintances. When the night was ended, she allegedly backed her SUV into him on her way to dump him off at 34 Fairview Road, leaving him to perish in a snowbank outside the house. Read faces charges of manslaughter while operating a motor vehicle while intoxicated, second-degree murder, and fleeing the scene of an accident that results in death. "I struck him. I struck him. I struck him. I struck him. 4 times, that is what the defendant said, according to Lally. You have been lied to in this courtroom, and your job is to make sure you don't ever look the other way," said Jackson. Although the prosecution acknowledges that there are doubts about some of the witnesses they called, they insist that the evidence in this case should not be called into question. Conversely, the defense argues that it is impossible to believe the evidence given the dubious background of the people tasked with gathering it. Since the trial started, there have been dozens of people outside the courthouse, but, on Tuesday, when the case was sent to the jury, there were hundreds. Although there have been minor confrontations with the supporters of defendant Read, the audience have mostly supported him. The public's interest in this murder trial has only increased as it draws to a close. On Tuesday, about 350 supporters of Read were seen outside the courtroom, using laptops and cell phones to view the closing arguments. According to 2 legal experts NBC 10 Boston spoke with, the jury cannot be ignorant of the extraordinary scrutiny surrounding this case. They think that because they are aware that the public will scrutinize any verdict, the jurors will want to consider slowly and thoughtfully. Every day, the people outside the court express confidence in the verdict that will be reached by the jury. "It won't take long, and Karen will be released at last," a supporter declared. "There will soon be a verdict of not guilty." Another admirer stated, "I mean, the evidence proved it. Anyone following this case from the start saw the truth." The 2 legal experts anticipate a speedy decision in this case.